Leaf Bear passed, the snow melted, and the days grew almost imperceptibly longer, bringing the hint of new green leaves along with the hedgerows. Ravenpaw's shoulder healed, and he and Barley started to hunt outside again, prowling the fields at twilight as huge brown and white owls swooped over their heads. One evening, as they were making the most of the first genuinely warm day of sunshine, they were startled by a muffled yell. "Barley! Ravenpaw!" Ravenpaw looked around. The cry seemed to come from further up in the hedgerow. He crouched down and prowled along the edge of the field, mouth open to scent the air. There were cats up ahead, definitely. Soft-furred with a hint of kitty pet? "It's us!" Two fluffed-up shapes sprang out of the hedge in front of Ravenpaw, one pale ginger and the other a dove-gray tabby. Ravenpaw blinked in surprise. "Riley? Bella? What are you doing here?" A taller shape emerged behind them. "They insisted on coming to see you," Violet explained, sounding weary. "I hope you don't mind." Barley bounded up to touch noses with his sister. "Mind? Of course not. It's great to see you." He looked at Riley and Bella, who were sniffing a tall blade of grass. "But weren't there more of them last time?" Violet's eyes clouded. "Lulu and Patch have gone to a new home." She blinked. "We see them sometimes, and they're very happy. At least I know they're together." Bella bounced up to Ravenpaw. She'd grown a lot since their first meeting. Her head was up to his shoulder. She was taller than her brother, more angular, and her chin tapered to a point that suggested a strong will. Riley still had traces of his fluffy kit pelt, but he had broad shoulders and sturdy legs. "Can we go to the farm?" Bella pleaded. "It's taken ages to get here, and I want to catch a mouse." "I'm so hungry I could die," Riley meowed. "Of course, you can come to our home," Barley purred. "And you're welcome to stay as long as you want. We have plenty of food and warm places for you to sleep." Violet's nostrils flared. "It's alright, we won't trouble you for more than a night. I don't want our housefolk to worry about us too much." They headed to the barn, Riley and Bella racing ahead and stopping every time they saw something new. At the sight of their first cow, their eyes bugged out so much that Ravenpaw had to hide a laugh. "It's huge!" Bella gasped. "Are you sure it's friendly?" Riley whispered, gazing at the animal on the other side of the field. "Well, it won't want to talk to you," meowed Ravenpaw. "But I'm fairly certain they don't eat cats. What do you think, Barley?" The black and white Tom pretended to ponder for a moment. "There was that one time you nearly got your tail bitten off," he meowed. "What?" Violet shrieked. "That sounds amazing," meowed Bella. "Tell us about it, Ravenpaw. Did you use your warrior moves to fight the cow?" "I'm sorry. They're obsessed with the stories about the clans that used to live in the forest. One of the other kitty pets talks about them. I think he met you once, actually. His name's Smudge. Black and white, thick fur." Ravenpaw nodded, memories pooling around him once more. Yes, he was a friend of Firestar's before he joined ThunderClan." "We want to join ThunderClan too," Riley announced. "We're really brave and good at fighting. And I could creep up so quietly that Bella doesn't even know I'm there." "I do too," Bella snorted. You're as loud as a volley of dog barking split the air, making all the cats jump. "As those dogs," Bella declared. Violet crouched down, ready to flee, but Barley rested his tail on her shoulder. "It's alright, they're tied up. They just like the sound of their own voices, that's all." The dogs continued to bark until a two-leg hollered from inside a redstone den. Then they fell quiet. "Come on, let's show you the barn," yelled Ravenpaw. The kits were quiet and wide-eyed when they first entered the huge wooden den. Nearly all the hay was gone now, and the far end of the barn was thick with shadows. Violet shuddered. "It's a bit creepy." Barley purred. "Don't worry, you're safe with us. Those ferocious mice won't attack you while you're here." "Ferocious mice?" Bella echoed, looking delighted. "Not really," Ravenpaw meowed. "But they can be tough to catch sometimes. Would you like to watch me hunt?" "Yes, please!" "Yes, please!" Riley and Bella mewed. "I'll show you our nest," Barley told Violet. "You can rest there while Ravenpaw finds you something to eat." Ravenpaw led the kits to the back of the barn, where the shadows were so thick that he could almost feel them pressing down on his fur. Both young cats did their best to tread quietly. Ella was very light on her paws, and Riley did better than Ravenpaw was expecting, given his bulkier frame. The scent of mice hung on the air. Ravenpaw picked out a trail that seemed fresh and followed it into a corner. "Keep still," he whispered to Riley and Bella as he crept forward. He dropped into a hunter's crouch and stalked towards the tiny hole where the mouse scent was strongest. His recently injured shoulder twinged, so he shifted his weight onto his other 3 legs. There was a tiny scrabble at the very edge of his hearing. A pointed nose appeared, whiskers twitching. Then the mouse shot out of the hole. Ravenpaw pounced and killed the mouse with a bite to its neck. "I thank StarClan for sending this prey." "Would you say?" Riley called. He was standing on tiptoe, craning his neck to see if Ravenpaw had made the catch. Ravenpaw straightened up with the mouse at his feet. He hadn't realized he'd spoken out loud. He couldn't remember the last time he'd thanked StarClan for prey. Nothing," he meowed. "Would you like to carry it back?" Bouncing with excitement, Riley and Bella dragged the mouse back to the pile of hay. Violet looked astonished. "Did you catch that yourself?" Bella let go of her end of the mouse. "No," she panted, "but we watched Ravenpaw do it. He was brilliant. He hunts like a real warrior," Riley declared. Ravenpaw purred with amusement. When had this kitty pet ever seen a warrior hunt? "Good catch," Riley remarked. "When I'm a warrior, I'm gonna hunt just like Ravenpaw," Bella vowed. "Not this again, Bella," Violet sighed. "There aren't any warriors now, remember?" She glanced at Ravenpaw. "I know you used to be one, of course, but you aren't anymore, right?" Ravenpaw shook his head. No, I'm not a warrior." Riley glared. "But that doesn't mean that we can't be. You could train us, Ravenpaw. We'd work really hard, I promise." Bella nodded. "We'd do everything you said. Practice all the battle tactics and hunting moves. I wouldn't even mind doing dawn patrols." Ravenpaw blinked. "Wow, Smudge has told you a lot." "Oh, yes," meowed Riley. "He said we could be warriors just like Firestar." "Except that ThunderClan is gone," Violet put in. "Smudge has no right to encourage these silly daydreams. I don't mind if you practice your hunting and fighting with each other, as long as no one gets hurt. But you're gonna find good homes and be kitty pets, just like me. And there's nothing wrong with that." "But there is," Ravenpaw found himself wanting to reply. Why would any cat want to be a kitty pet when they could live outside, hunting for themselves, keeping themselves safe, seeing so much more than the confines of a two-leg den? Barley was tugging pieces of loose hay into piles. "Come on, you should eat while the mouse is still warm. Then you could sleep here with us tonight." "We'll leave at dawn," Violet meowed firmly. "We need to get home before our housefolk thinks we're gone forever." "We don't want to go home," whispered Bella. "It's your home, not ours," Riley muttered. "We want to be warriors." Ravenpaw and Barley traveled as far as the Thunderpath with Violet and the kits. Riley and Bella dragged their paws, insisting on stopping to sniff every stalk of grass and every rabbit hole. "Come on, you two," Violet meowed. "If you don't hurry up, I'll leave you behind." "I wish you would," Riley muttered. "Don't say that," Ravenpaw chided. "She's your mother, and she loves you very much. Of course she wants you to go home with her." The young Tom fixed his clear blue gaze on Ravenpaw. "There's nothing wrong with being a kitty pet, but Belle and I were born to be warriors. Please help us, Ravenpaw. You're the only warrior left in the forest." "I'm not a warrior, and I don't live in the forest," Ravenpaw meowed. "My home is with Barley now." "But you could train us. We could start our own clan," Bella pleaded. Violet bounded over to them and licked the top of Bella's head. "Stop pestering Ravenpaw. Look, we've reached the tunnel. We need to let Ravenpaw and Barley go home now." She ushered them away. Bella glanced back at Ravenpaw. "Please," she begged. "Just think about it." Then she ducked into the tunnel and vanished behind her brother. Violet followed, her orange tail whisking out of sight. "Think about what?" Barley meowed in Ravenpaw's ear. "Oh, nothing. Just their crazy idea about becoming warriors. They think I could train them." Barley let out a huff of amusement. "Kits. Did we have such mouse-brained ideas at that age? Well, I certainly wanted to be a warrior, Ravenpaw commented. That's different. You were born in ThunderClan. Barley pushed his way through the hedge and waited for Ravenpaw to join him. Should we hunt out here? He sniffed the air. I think it's gonna rain later. Before Ravenpaw could reply, he bounded along the edge of the field, his black and white tail sticking up in the air. Ravenpaw watched him, his head whirling. Was it really such a crazy idea that he should train Riley and Bella to be warriors? His memories had never seemed more vivid than they were now. Returning to the ravine before Leafbear had brought back so much of his former life. Hunting techniques, the best way to tackle an enemy in battle, how to mark out a territory. And last night he had found himself thanking StarClan after catching that mouse. Were his warrior ancestors watching over him even now? Surely they would have followed the 4 clans to their new home. His clanmates had vanished, and he wasn't a warrior anymore. Yet he remembered so much about hunting and fighting and going on patrol. He was happy with Barley, happier than he'd ever been in the forest. But he didn't regret being clanborn for a moment. Who was he to tell Riley and Bella that they shouldn't dream of becoming warriors? Ravenpaw slept badly that night. His belly hurt, and he had only just dropped off when he was awoken by an owl hooting. He wriggled deeper into the hay, burying his muzzle in Barley's soft fur. But sleep seemed far out of reach. Instead, his mind spun with the thoughts of Riley and Bella. From what he had seen, Ravenpaw thought that any clan would be fortunate to have them. They were brave, quick, and eager to learn. He wished that he could send them to ThunderClan. But he had no idea where his former clanmates were.
You're right, breathed a voice in his ear. They're too far away now.
Ravenpaw sat bolt upright. Who's there?
A sweet, watery scent wreathed around him. Don't be alarmed. It's Silverstream.
Silverstream? Ravenpaw whipped his head around. A silver tabby she-cat sat beside him. Her tail curled neatly over her paws. Her blue eyes gleamed in the half-light. From RiverClan?
Yes, a long time ago,
came the reply. Ravenpaw glanced down at Barley. He was still sleeping, his flanks rising and falling evenly.
You are dreaming. We won't disturb him.
Ravenpaw strained to see the she-cat more clearly, but her pelt shimmered against the hay beside her. He felt that if he tried to touch her, his paw would slip right through. Why are you in my dream? He asked.
Because StarClan has not forgotten you. Not all of us left the forest. I have been watching you with Riley and Bella. I can see that they would make good warriors. But they need your help, Ravenpaw.
You really think so?
The she-cat blinked at him, her eyes shining like blue moons. Of course. You changed the course of your life once. There is no better cat to help Riley and Bella follow their hearts. Every cat deserves to choose their own path.
But what can I do? There's no clans left in the forest.
Silverstream paused and stared into the shadows at the edge of the barn. There is another clan close by. Do you remember Firestar telling you about it?
SkyClan! Ravenpaw nodded. He and Sandstorm went there after the battle with BloodClan. But I don't know where it is. Only that they followed the river past Highstones. I don't even know if SkyClan has survived this long.
They have survived, and they can help these young cats find their destiny. Go with them, Ravenpaw. Show them that they can become warriors.
What if SkyClan doesn't want any more warriors? Ravenpaw argued. What if we get lost? I'm not the right cat for something like this.
A true warrior would do anything for his clanmates. Silverstream was growing fainter now, a little more than a wash of glittering light against the shadows.
I'm not a warrior! Ravenpaw protested, but it was too late. Silverstream had vanished. Barley stirred. What's wrong? He mumbled. Go back to sleep, Ravenpaw whispered, stroking his paw along Barley's flank. All is well. He lay down and closed his eyes. I am not a warrior,
he repeated under his breath.